On the evening of May 8th, 2020, I had a medical emergency. I had been trying to quit drinking alcohol. The Topo Max made me not want to eat or drink anything. It was about 2 weeks of withdrawal and limited nutrition just before the NDE. I was playing with my dog and broke a sweat. As I stood up, I began to feel very lightheaded. I thought I had a drop in blood sugar and asked for something sweet to eat. I sat down and began to see very vivid colors. I told my girlfriend to leave me alone and that I felt like I was having a trip. The room looked like it began to melt, as if I were inside a chocolate fountain, but with rainbow colors. I was trying to exclaim, but my head became very heavy and rolled back. That's when I died. Dying was not painful. It felt like a giant bubble wrap popping in your chest. I did not feel that I was rotated when I came out, but I was facing myself. I later learned that was the equivalent of turning a two-dimensional character's hat backwards. I had crossed into a dimension above the one we reside in. I looked at myself and knew I was dead. I thought it in my head, and that's when something in the room replied that I was correct, and that I was indeed dead. There was an angel in the room to my right. I could feel its power and size relative to myself. I was so afraid, I could not look at it. Before I could figure out what was next, I could feel all of the sin on myself. The floor opened up in front of me. It was a dark pit. It was going to devour me, and I knew I belonged there. All I could do was beg like a baby for Jesus to forgive me. The angel, laughing, thought into my head, "Good choice." There was no pause. We were instantly gone. The next thing I see is a giant mountain coming into view. It was so big it warped my peripheral vision. It donutted, like it wrapped behind me. That's how far this mountain went on for. I could feel something was wrong, that I was bad. In a blink of an eye, I felt Jesus take all the sin away. I remember being astonished at how easy it was for him. We leveled off close enough to the mountain that I could see people, and they were cheering for me. I could see children surrounding a pen with a long-necked dinosaur. As we were flying up the mountain, I kept saying I had to go back for my son, that his mother, my ex, wouldn't teach him about Jesus. I also kept saying I had to go back for Ashley, my girlfriend. The angel didn't respond. At the top of the mountain was a square altar with fire, and Jesus' cross was in it. I could tell that the fire would never burn the cross. At the top of the cross was a molten golden crown that was rotating while floating in the flames. That was where the sign was that Pilate nailed to the cross. It burned away and turned into that crown. I just stopped talking altogether when I saw it. That's when the angel said, "Last chance." I said that I had to go back, then darkness and a crushing feeling. Being reborn into my body was extremely painful and beautiful. I remember thinking how beautiful it was to feel being born again. When I came to, I couldn't see or hear anything. I just knew I was vomiting everywhere. I jumped up and began to tell everyone heaven is real. That's when I realized everyone in the room was crying. I had gone to the hospital and was diagnosed with dehydration and the beginning of kidney failure. I had dehydrated myself so much over the 2 weeks that I had entered into kidney failure without knowing it. After recovering, my life has been an attempt to serve Jesus with a second life I didn't deserve, for saving me from going to hell that I did deserve.